Hey everybody, thank you for joining in, stopping by to listen. Hope you're having a good weekend. It's later than it normally is when I do this, so I'm tired. So you guys, please bear with me. Drop me a line, let me know what's going on, how you're enjoying your summer, what's going on in life. So we left off where Alan had just spent 3 hours with Debbie. And telling her that he would give her a call. So we'll pick up where, remember Marie had gone to Massachusetts and they asked her to participate in a fashion show. So Marie says, remember, I didn't go to Massachusetts for the fitting, but I made it there for the fashion show. They had sent me 3 outfits to model, and I thought of different hairstyles to go with each outfit. I had never been in a fashion show before, but it was fun and a lot of excitement was going on in the backstage. Women putting on makeup and hair, changing clothes, laughing, and the designers were in an uproar fixing their creations to perfection on their models. The men were in the room right next door. We could see them running back and forth in a frenzy getting ready also. The music was playing and it also helped keep us hyped off stage and on stage. Nobody could tell us we weren't big time modeling professionals. It was my turn to strut out. I was nervous and praying I wouldn't trip, fall, or anything like that. Once I walked out and made the turn into the lights, I was still nervous, but I also thought to myself, go on, girl. You gotta do this thing now. So I strutted down the runway, throwing my hips from side to side, with my head looking straight forward. The show went on for about an hour and a half. Then following the show, we were backstage removing the exaggerated makeup and hair, while people were coming backstage to talk to us about doing shows for them and speaking with designers about their clothes. I was asked to do a show. Let me tell you, I had so much fun doing this one, I agreed to model for a show in Baltimore. Also, the pay wasn't that bad doing these shows either. Out front, where the audience was, people were standing around drinking and talking, and I guess probably setting up deals. We hung around for a little while. Marvin was cool, but I could tell he was proud of me. While Marvin and I were sitting at the bar sipping on drinks and talking about all that was going on in the place, a guy of average height and very handsome. I couldn't tell if he was Greek or Italian, but anyway, he came over and asked me who was my hairstylist. I told him I had done my styles myself. He said he was from Italy and had been in the United States for the last couple of months promoting hair shows, mostly on the East Coast, and was wondering if I might be interested in participating in one of his presentations. I was like, of course, why not? Just get back to me when you have all the details pretty much lined up so we can discuss the details. I gave him my phone number and he gave me his business card. I was finding the whole fashion show thing to be really exciting, and now a chance to do hair shows, I could dig this for a while. The next morning, I hurried back home, having missed class today. I still had so much to do this week, including school and now the show in my hometown that was coming up. Mike had left Monica with my Aunt Kate. After arriving at the train station, I called for a taxi to go pick up the baby and get started with my week. So now, Junie, Marie had come home and told us about her fashion show and how it turned out. Now she was going to participate in a hair show. I decided I had to check out what she was doing and who she was dealing with. So I told Alan about the hair show and that maybe we should check it out. He was like, "Man, a hair show? That's for women." No, it's not. It's not just for females. She said it will have guys there too. Guys modeling hairstyles. After the show, there'll be drinks and dancing afterwards, I told him. The look on his face said he wasn't really excited about it. Neither was I, but at least it was something different to do. My eyes are so tired. They're tearing up. So let me see. Where did I leave off? Saying that it's something different to do, and we'd be checking out Marie, see what she's up to. He agreed it would be nice for us to go, so we could give her our support, and it might be a little bit of fun in it. We then agreed to tell our wives about this. Even though we didn't know the date or place, we just knew we'd be there. Paula and Trina were excited about going. Paula started planning what she was going to wear to the show already. I told her to relax. We don't even know when the show is going to be. Well, a few days later, Marie called Paula and Trina about the hair show. She wanted to know if they'd like to be her models. She needed 3 models. She already had Leah as a model. Of course, Paula was going just crazy about being in this show and told her yes, almost before Marie could even finish asking her. The more talk I heard about this event, the more fun it did sound like. It was going to be a group of us going. Even my cousin and his wife from Baltimore were going to be there. Whenever it was, I'd say it was about 2.5 weeks after Marie had told us about this. Not only am I tired, but my allergies are kicking my butt too. Like I said, Marie had told us about 2.5 weeks later, more details. After Marie spoke with him, she called her models to give them the details. Now listen to this. The show was going to be in Baltimore. So now we have to make plans for a convoy of cars to go down. Even my mom and dad were going. Actually, my parents, Taz and Monica, went to Baltimore kind of often to visit cousins. As I pretty much went about my daily routine, the women were practicing walking, discussing what they were going to wear, how the makeup would be applied, all that kind of stuff. Us men didn't have to go through all that hassle. That's not the truth either, Alan, Dad and I had talked about what we were going to wear too. So, time was passing pretty fast as I watched them prepare for the show. You know how it is when you can feel the excitement of an event? The next thing we knew, it was almost time to leave for Baltimore. It was 2 days before the showdown. Man, we had a convoy of cars going down. Let's see. There was 4 to a car, and we had 3 carloads heading down 95 South. It wasn't really a long ride. It only took about 4 hours to get there, but we stopped halfway there to freshen up, stretch our legs, and talk, of course. Normally my folks stayed at my cousin's house when they went down, So my mother and father stayed with Rob and Shelley, but there were too many of us all to stay with them for the weekend. So the rest of us had made reservations at a hotel where the show was taking place. The spot was really nice. It even had an indoor pool. The hotel had given us a discounted rate because my sister was a stylist for the hair show. Anyway, 4 hours later, after leaving New Jersey, we arrived in Baltimore and went straight to Rob and Shelley's place. We hadn't seen them in a few months, so there was a lot of talking going on, catching up on what was going on in New Jersey and them updating on what was going on with them. They had a nice place, a ranch-style house with a finished basement and a huge yard. And their bar in the basement, yeah, it was always fully stocked. After our ride, we stayed for a short while before going to the hotel. The women needed to prepare for tonight. Mom, Dad, Taz, and Monica stayed with our cousins. We arrived at the hotel. There were quite a few people in the hotel for the show and the after party. Marie, Trina, Paula, and Leah were doing makeup and hair for a few hours before they went down to go backstage to start getting dressed for the show. I'd say they went down around 5:30, although the show didn't start until 7. The seats in the room were filled when the curtains opened. The first thing to happen, all these beautiful women came out strutting around the stage with wild makeup on, and I do mean wild, lavish, colorful outfits too, with huge hats and plumes. After this, some models with strange yet sexy makeup came back out again, this time wearing hardly anything. I mean light-fitting dresses and pants, halters, hip-hugging pants. Their stomachs, backs, and half their breasts were out. I admit, I was like, wow. I kind of like seeing this. They didn't look tacky. They just looked sexy and glamorous. The show was really good. It was amazing the things that have been done with hair. Alan and I were kind of hoping that Paula and Trina might leave their hair looking wild and exotic with that far-fetched makeup for later tonight when we returned to our hotel rooms. The place was going to be jumping almost until the sun came up, but we'd had a ball. Then most of our group turned in somewhere around 4 in the morning. The next afternoon, after we had tried to sleep off our tiredness and the liquor we'd consumed the night before, we made our way to our cousin's house again. It never failed. Whenever we came down, they'd get a ton of already cooked crabs. So while Shelley called to place the order for the crabs so her and Mom could go pick them up, Alan, Dave, and I started ripping open some paper bags and placing them on the dining room and kitchen tables. Meanwhile, Rob walked over to his stereo and turned on some Al Green while he was talking to Dad. After this, Bob went down to the bar to bring up a few things. Most of us had gone out into his huge backyard. The house set up on a slight hill, so you looked down onto the yard and over to the street behind him. His yard was lined with tall hedges, a giant brick grill, and some patio furniture. Let me tell you though, as soon as Shelley's car pulled up in the driveway, we went to the kitchen, and all of us moving around, getting our butter, napkins, glasses, and everything else. We thought we might need to do some damage to these crabs. Ice cold beer, crabs, a good conversation, yep. That was the usual here. While we were eating, Shelley's brother Henry came in with his wife, and a friend of his. They had also attended the bash last night. So I'm going to call it a night for right now. And I thank you again for listening in. I hope you decide to hit the subscribe button. I would greatly, greatly appreciate it. I wish you a good week. I wish you a good night. Peace and love to you.